Have you ever wondered, can living alone truly bring happiness? Today we embark on a journey like no other. Living alone but not feeling lonely. This is not a story of isolation. It's an adventure of self-discovery, personal growth, and inner strength. Let me introduce you to Mark, a friend of mine whose story perfectly captures the essence of this journey. After going through a difficult divorce, Mark was faced with the daunting reality of living alone for the first time in years. At first, the silence felt overwhelming, leaving him confused and adrift. But over time, he realized that this newfound quiet was not a void to fill, but a gift, a chance to understand himself on a deeper level. Mark discovered joy in the simplest moments, listening to the rain, savoring his morning coffee, and reading a book without interruption. Today, we'll explore how living alone can be a gateway to inner happiness, offering us the space to reconnect with ourselves and find fulfillment in solitude. Inspired by the timeless teachings of the Buddha, we'll learn how to turn these quiet moments into opportunities for peace, joy, and personal growth. The journey begins. Living alone for the first time can be a challenging experience, evoking fear and anxiety. Confronting this fear isn't easy, especially for those accustomed to the constant presence of others. Mark shared how uneasy he felt when he first moved into his new apartment. "The silence at night scared me," he said. "Even the ticking of the clock or the wind brushing past the window felt unsettling. It was like I'd been left behind, alone in the world." Over time, Mark discovered that fear is just the first step of the journey. Rather than running from it, he learned to sit with his discomfort. Every evening, he began practicing mindful breathing to ground himself, slowly embracing solitude. Feeling scared at first is not a failure. It's a natural response. When we stop avoiding our fears, we unlock hidden strengths that help us thrive on our own. Is silence a gift or a challenge? Silence can feel unsettling initially, especially for those who've always been surrounded by noise and activity. However, when we shift our perspective, silence becomes an opportunity to reconnect with ourselves. Sarah, a busy marketing executive, initially felt suffocated by the silence of her apartment. She used to blast music the moment she got home to fill the emptiness. But one day, she decided to spend an evening without any distractions. To her surprise, she found peace in the quiet moments. Her mind finally felt at ease. Buddha's teaching reminds us that silence can be our greatest teacher. In stillness, we can hear the subtle voices within, the thoughts and emotions we often ignore in the busyness of life, transforming your space into a personal sanctuary. Your living space reflects your state of mind. A cluttered room often leads to a cluttered mind, while a minimalist and intentional space can foster peace and clarity. Declutter regularly. Keep only items that bring you joy or serve a purpose. Use neutral colors and natural light. Create an open, calming environment. Add plants or scented candles. Bringing nature into your space promotes relaxation. Mark found that after rearranging his apartment with fewer items, his anxiety reduced. He placed a small table for meditation, lit candles at night, and felt more at ease within his surroundings. His home became a reflection of his inner peace, embracing and enjoying silence. Starting the day with mindfulness sets the tone for everything that follows. A peaceful, intentional morning allows us to connect with ourselves. Before the world's noise creeps in, Sarah sits quietly by the window with a cup of coffee, observing the sunrise. Instead of scrolling through her phone, she takes 5 minutes to breathe deeply and notice the sights, sounds, and scents around her. This small ritual makes a huge difference in her mood for the day. Begin your morning with 5 to 10 minutes of mindful breathing. Sit still. Focus on your breath. Let your thoughts drift by without judgment. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. Starting your day with care and intention sets the stage for peace throughout the day. Journaling your emotions for clarity. Keeping a journal is like having a conversation with yourself. It gives us the chance to slow down, reflect, and understand our feelings more clearly. Mark found that writing down his emotions each night helped him process his thoughts. After a tough day at work, he would describe his frustrations on paper. By the end, he often felt lighter and more at peace. Try journaling for 10 minutes each evening. Write what comes to mind, whether feelings, observations, or plans for tomorrow. Write about a small joy or moment of gratitude from your day. This shifts your focus from worries to positive experiences. This concludes the first part of the journey. More awaits as we continue exploring how solitude can offer joy, peace, and personal transformation. And journal his thoughts each evening. Over time, he began to notice patterns in his feelings and learned that loneliness was urging him to reconnect with himself. Feeling lonely doesn't mean you failed. It's a signal to slow down and reflect on your emotional needs. Buddha teaches that all emotions are impermanent, like clouds passing through the sky. If we observe loneliness without resistance, it will pass naturally. Finding joy in small moments of solitude. When loneliness becomes overwhelming, small moments of joy can act as lifelines. The key is learning to recognize and appreciate these moments, even when they seem insignificant. Jane, a nurse working long shifts, practiced simple gratitude during her breaks. Whether savoring a cup of tea or feeling the warmth of sunlight, she found small pleasures in everyday moments. This shift in mindset helped her see solitude as a gift, not a punishment. Keep a gratitude journal and write down one thing you appreciated about your day. The more we focus on small joys, the easier it becomes to find peace in solitude. The practice of loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness meditation, metta, is a powerful tool for transforming loneliness into compassion, both for yourself and others. The practice begins with directing kindness inward and then extending it to those around you. John started practicing loving kindness meditation after a difficult breakup. It made me realize that everyone in some way feels the same loneliness I do, he said, and that's comforting. Begin with a simple mantra. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. Gradually extend the same wish to others, even those you find difficult to love. Practicing kindness toward yourself makes it easier to cultivate meaningful connections with others. Building meaningful connections from a place of wholeness. Loneliness often signals the need for connection, but it's important to connect from a place of self-awareness and completeness. When we rely on others to fill an emotional void, relationships become burdensome. True connections thrive when we're comfortable with ourselves. Jane found joining a local book club more fulfilling after spending time getting to know herself. I wasn't looking for friendships out of desperation anymore, she shared. I felt complete on my own, and that made my connections more authentic. Explore hobbies and communities that align with your interests. Connections will form naturally when you pursue what you genuinely enjoy. Buddha emphasized the importance of community, Sangha, where individuals support each other on personal journeys, embracing the impermanence of emotions. One of the greatest lessons of Buddhism is impermanence, the understanding that all emotions, including loneliness, are temporary. When we cling to emotions, we suffer, but when we let them come and go, we find peace. John thought his loneliness would never end. But as he practiced meditation and reached out to others, his feelings shifted day by day. Some days were harder than others, but eventually the loneliness faded, he said. When overwhelmed by loneliness, remind yourself that this feeling will pass. Imagine it like a wave on the shore, here for a moment, then gone. Embracing the impermanence of emotions allows us to live more peacefully, knowing that no feeling, good or bad, lasts forever. Through small joys, loving kindness meditation, meaningful connections, and the practice of impermanence, we learn that loneliness is not a curse. It's an invitation to reconnect with ourselves and others. When we embrace loneliness as a teacher, we discover we are never truly alone. We are connected by our shared experiences and emotions. From this awareness, we can build a life of meaning, even in solitude. Evening meditation to ease anxiety. Evenings can be challenging when living alone. The silence feels heavier, and worries about the future may creep in. Meditation can ease these anxieties, helping us stay in the present moment. Sarah practices body scan meditation each evening before bed. Lying down, she brings awareness to every part of her body, from her toes to her head, releasing tension along the way. This simple practice helps her sleep better and wake up refreshed. Try a guided meditation before bed to unwind. Apps like Headspace or Insight Timer offer great options for beginners. Buddha emphasized the importance of living in the present moment. The future is uncertain. The past is already gone. Disconnecting from social media for mental rest. While social media offers connection, it can also drain our energy and leave us feeling more isolated. Mindful disconnection allows us to enjoy solitude without the comparison trap. Mark noticed that every time he scrolled through social media before bed, he felt anxious and restless. Now, he turns off his phone an hour before sleep, reads a book, or listens to soothing music instead. Set tech-free periods in your day, perhaps in the morning or an hour before bedtime. Use that time to do something you enjoy without distractions. Solitude feels more refreshing when we disconnect, giving our minds the space to rest, slowing down in a fast-paced world. In a world that celebrates busyness, slowing down feels counterintuitive. But when we embrace slow living, we begin to notice and appreciate the small joys in everyday moments. Sarah used to rush through her meals, eating quickly while watching TV. Now she practices mindful eating, savoring each bite, and paying attention to the flavors and textures. This practice made her more aware of how small moments can become sources of joy. Choose one activity each day, whether it's eating, walking, or cleaning, and do it mindfully, with your full attention. When walking, walk. When eating, eat. This simple teaching reminds us to focus on the present, one moment at a time. Embracing silence as a teacher. The world may move quickly, but in silence, we create space for our thoughts to settle. We reconnect with ourselves, learn to live more mindfully, and find beauty in the little things. Confronting and overcoming loneliness. Loneliness is not the enemy. It's a natural part of the human experience. When we learn to confront and accept it, loneliness becomes a gateway to deeper understanding of ourselves. John, a software developer, struggled with loneliness after moving to a new city. Even though I was surrounded by people at work, I couldn't shake the feeling of being alone, he said. Instead of avoiding the emotion, he decided to sit with it and journal his thoughts each evening. Over time, he began to notice patterns in his feelings and learned that loneliness was urging him to reconnect with himself. Feeling lonely doesn't mean you've failed. It's a signal to slow down and reflect on your emotional needs. Buddha teaches that all emotions are impermanent, like clouds passing through the sky. If we observe loneliness without resistance, it will pass naturally. Finding joy in small moments of solitude. When loneliness becomes overwhelming, small moments of joy can act as lifelines. The key is learning to recognize and appreciate these moments, even when they seem insignificant. Jane, a nurse working long shifts, practiced simple gratitude during her breaks. Whether savoring a cup of tea or feeling the warmth of sunlight, she found small pleasures in everyday moments. This shift in mindset helped her see solitude as a gift, not a punishment. Keep a gratitude journal and write down one thing you appreciated about your day. The more we focus on small joys, the easier it becomes to find peace in solitude. The practice of loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness meditation, metta, is a powerful tool for transforming loneliness into compassion, both for yourself and others. The practice begins with directing kindness inward and then extending it to those around you. John started practicing loving-kindness meditation after a difficult breakup. It made me realize that everyone, in some way, feels the same loneliness I do, he said, and that's comforting. Begin with a simple mantra. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be at peace. Gradually extend the same wish to others, even those you find difficult to love. Practicing kindness toward yourself makes it easier to cultivate meaningful connections with others. Building meaningful connections from a place of wholeness. Loneliness often signals the need for connection. But it's important to connect from a place of self-awareness and completeness. When we rely on others to fill an emotional void, relationships become burdensome. True connections thrive when we're comfortable with ourselves. Jane found joining a local book club more fulfilling after spending time getting to know herself. I wasn't looking for friendships out of desperation anymore, she shared. I felt complete on my own, and that made my connections more authentic. Explore hobbies and communities that align with your interests. Connections will form naturally when you pursue what you genuinely enjoy. Buddha emphasized the importance of community, Sangha, where individuals support each other on personal journeys. Embracing the impermanence of emotions. One of the greatest lessons of Buddhism is impermanence. The understanding that all emotions, including loneliness, are temporary. When we cling to emotions, we suffer. But when we let them come and go, we find peace. John thought his loneliness would never end. But as he practiced meditation and reached out to others, his feelings shifted day by day. Some days were harder than others, but eventually the loneliness faded, he said. When overwhelmed by loneliness, remind yourself that this feeling will pass. Imagine it like a wave on the shore, here for a moment, then gone. Embracing the impermanence of emotions allows us to live more peacefully, knowing that no feeling, good or bad, lasts forever. Through small joys, loving kindness meditation, meaningful connections, and the practice of impermanence, we learn that loneliness is not a curse. It's an invitation to reconnect with ourselves and others. When we embrace loneliness as a teacher, we discover we are never truly alone. We are connected by our shared experiences and emotions. From this awareness, we can build a life of meaning, even in solitude. Developing self-reliance. Empowering yourself to meet life's challenges with confidence begins with self-reliance. Managing your finances, maintaining personal care, and balancing independence with connection are key elements of this journey. Taking control of your finances. Financial independence is one of the cornerstones of self-reliance. Managing money provides security and empowers you to make choices aligned with your values. Mark used to avoid budgeting, overwhelmed by managing bills. After downloading a budgeting app, he set small goals, tracking daily expenses and saving $100 each month. By taking control of his finances, he felt more secure and in control of his life. Use tools like YNAB or Mint to track expenses. Set realistic savings goals and celebrate small milestones. Financial self-reliance isn't about wealth, it's about living within your means and making mindful decisions that support your future. The joy of cooking for yourself. Cooking is not just about feeding yourself, it's an act of self-care and creativity. Sarah initially found cooking alone to be a chore, but she discovered that trying new recipes gave her joy. She chose a new dish each weekend, savoring the process, shopping for ingredients, preparing meals, and enjoying them mindfully. Start with simple recipes you enjoy. Treat cooking as a creative outlet, not an obligation. Cooking for yourself is a way of saying, I value my well-being. It also fosters gratitude for the food we often take for granted. Maintaining a clean and organized home. Taking care of your space is essential for self-reliance. A clean and organized home contributes to mental clarity and reduces stress. Mark made it a habit to tidy up every morning. Even small tasks like making the bed gave him a sense of accomplishment and set a positive tone for the day. Break chores into manageable tasks. Dedicate 15 minutes daily to cleaning a specific area of your home. A tidy home reflects how we care for ourselves. Knowing when to ask for help. Independence doesn't mean doing everything on your own. True self-reliance includes recognizing when to ask for help and reaching out without shame. Sarah struggled with assembling furniture in her apartment. At first, she hesitated to ask for help, fearing it would undermine her independence. But when she finally asked a neighbor for assistance, she realized that seeking help strengthens relationships. Build a support network of friends, family, or neighbors. Offering help in return builds trust and connection. Self-reliance is about balance, knowing when to act independently and when to invite others into your journey. The middle way. Balancing work and rest. Buddha taught about the middle way, a path of balance between excess and deprivation. This principle applies to modern life. Balancing work and rest is essential for well-being. Mark found himself working long hours to prove his worth. Eventually, exhaustion caught up with him. After reflecting on his habits, he set boundaries between work and personal time. He began taking evening walks, reading before bed, and scheduling downtime on weekends. Use tools like Google Calendar to schedule work and leisure. Treat your downtime as non-negotiable. Success isn't just about achieving goals, it's about creating space for renewal and enjoying life in the present. Conclusion of self-reliance. Developing self-reliance is about empowering yourself to handle challenges confidently. Financial responsibility, personal care, and balancing independence with connection are vital components of this journey. Self-reliance doesn't mean doing everything alone. It's about knowing when to act independently and when to seek help. As you grow more comfortable relying on yourself, your sense of self-worth will flourish. Independence allows you to pursue your dreams on your terms and build a life that reflects your true values. Finding inner peace. Meditation offers a way to reset the mind and body. It allows us to step back from our thoughts, observe them without judgment, and let inner peace emerge. John struggled with anxiety for years, but after starting a daily meditation practice, he noticed a shift. His thoughts became less chaotic, and moments of clarity appeared throughout the day. Start with 5 to 10 minutes of meditation each day. If it feels challenging, try guided sessions with apps like Calm or Insight Timer. Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without. Meditation isn't about controlling thoughts. It's about learning to observe and release them, living in the present moment. Mindfulness helps us connect with life meaningfully. It allows us to appreciate small moments instead of rushing through them. Jane used to multitask constantly, overwhelmed by her to-do list. Now she makes a conscious effort to do one thing at a time, whether drinking tea, walking, or washing dishes. This shift has helped her find joy in everyday activities. Choose one daily task to do mindfully. Focus entirely on it, without distractions. Mindfulness isn't about perfection. It's about gently returning to the present whenever your mind wanders, accepting the impermanence of life. Impermanence teaches us that everything in life is temporary. Resisting change causes suffering, but accepting it brings peace. Mark felt devastated after unexpectedly losing his job. Through meditation, he learned to see the situation as part of life's ebb and flow. Nothing stays the same forever. This too shall pass. When faced with difficult emotions, remind yourself that they are temporary. Visualize them as clouds passing by. They come and they go. Do not cling to what is passing. Let it go, and peace will follow. Nature as a source of inner peace. Spending time in nature reconnects us with simplicity and beauty. It helps calm the mind. Jane makes it a habit to walk in the park every evening. Listening to birds, feeling the breeze, and watching the changing sky grounds her. Spend at least 15 minutes outdoors each day, even if it's just sitting on a balcony or taking a short walk. Nature invites us to slow down and be present. Building a daily routine of inner peace. Creating peaceful routines helps cultivate stability and resilience. John built a simple daily routine, meditating in the morning, practicing mindful eating at lunch, and journaling gratitude before bed. These small habits transformed his days, helping him feel more present. Create a daily peace ritual, whether meditation, journaling, or deep breathing before bed. A peaceful life is built on small, intentional practices repeated every day. Inner peace isn't something we find and hold, it's a daily practice. Through mindfulness and acceptance, we learn to let go of what we can't control and find joy in the present moment. By spending time in nature and building peaceful routines, we stay grounded. Even during life's challenges, peace becomes a part of who we are, equipping us to face the world with grace and joy. This concludes our section on inner peace. In the next part, we'll explore how to embrace change and grow through life's transitions. Adapting to change and personal growth. Change is inevitable. Our ability to adapt determines how we experience life's transitions. Instead of resisting, we can learn to embrace change as part of personal evolution. The art of embracing change. John felt overwhelmed when he had to relocate for work. It felt like everything was falling apart, he admitted. But as he adjusted to the new environment, he discovered new opportunities. New friendships, routines, and experiences awaited him. When facing change, write down 3 positive opportunities the transition might bring. Shifting your focus from fear to possibility makes adapting easier. Flexibility allows us to flow with life's changes, rather than fight them. Dancing through life's storms. Life isn't always smooth. Sometimes we find ourselves in the middle of a storm. But instead of waiting for the storm to pass, we can learn to dance in the rain. Jane had to cancel her long-planned vacation due to unexpected work obligations. At first, she felt frustrated, but then she explored local parks, tried new recipes, and hosted small gatherings with friends. In the end, she found joy in unexpected places. When life throws a curveball, pause and ask, what can I do right now to create joy or meaning in this situation? Resilience isn't about avoiding hardship. It's about finding beauty and strength in the midst of it. Discovering new skills and hobbies. Adapting to change often means exploring new interests. New skills enrich life and build confidence. Sarah lost her job but decided to learn photography. What started as a hobby became a new career path. It gave me a sense of purpose, she said. Take up a new hobby you've always wanted to explore. Even something small, like learning an instrument or trying a new dish. Every new skill broadens our horizons and strengthens our ability to adapt. Building a growth mindset. A growth mindset, the belief that abilities can develop through effort, helps us thrive. John used to get frustrated when things didn't go as planned. Once he embraced a growth mindset, he saw obstacles as lessons. Every setback became a chance to reflect, learn, and grow. When facing challenges, ask, what can I learn from this experience? Developing a growth mindset keeps us open and curious, even when life unfolds unexpectedly. Finding balance in change. Adapting to change doesn't mean constant action. It also means knowing when to pause, reflect, and recharge. Sarah juggled multiple projects after starting her photography business. Eventually, stress caught up with her. She realized the importance of scheduling downtime. Unplugging from work on weekends allowed her creativity to flourish. Schedule intentional breaks during transitions, whether a vacation or a simple rest day. Buddha's middle way teaches us balance. In both change and life, we need a mix of action and rest to thrive. Conclusion of adapting to change. Adapting to change isn't about avoiding challenges. It's about learning to flow with life's twists and turns. Through resilience, flexibility, and curiosity, we can transform difficult transitions into opportunities for growth. Life is unpredictable, but when we dance through storms, explore new interests, and cultivate a growth mindset, we discover that every challenge offers a chance to become stronger. Building social connections. While living alone. Even though living alone offers freedom, we still need meaningful connections to thrive. Humans are inherently social creatures, and relationships help us feel valued and supported. The importance of connection in solitude. John thought living alone meant cutting off social interactions, but he soon realized how crucial it was to maintain friendships. He started calling old friends regularly, scheduling coffee meetups, and joining an online book club. Reach out to one person each week. Living alone doesn't mean disconnection. It's an opportunity to cultivate deeper relationships, finding a community that resonates. Communities provide a sense of belonging. Sarah struggled to make new friends after moving to a new city, but she joined a local photography group. Through this community, she built meaningful connections. Identify a hobby or passion you love and join a related community, whether in person or online. Community reminds us that we are not isolated. The value of online friendships. Online connections can be as meaningful as in-person ones. John joined a mental wellness forum where people shared their experiences. Knowing others faced similar challenges provided comfort. Explore online platforms that align with your interests or goals. Virtual friendships offer real support. What matters is the connection, not the medium. Nurturing close relationships with family and friends. Even if you live alone, staying connected with loved ones is essential. Sarah makes it a point to FaceTime her parents every Sunday. This simple routine strengthens their relationship. Create consistent touch points to stay connected with loved ones. Strong relationships require effort, but emotional closeness is worth it. Practicing empathy and compassion in relationships. Meaningful connections thrive on empathy and kindness. John noticed that friendships grew stronger when he practiced active listening. I realized that just being present for someone makes a difference, he said. Practice active listening. Put aside distractions and show genuine interest. Relationships deepen through empathy. The more we give, the more meaningful they become. Conclusion of building social connections. Living alone doesn't mean isolation. It's an opportunity to nurture relationships intentionally, whether through communities, online friendships, or regular communication with loved ones. Meaningful connections enhance our well-being. Practicing empathy, kindness, and active listening strengthens the relationships that matter. Connection isn't about quantity. It's about the quality of our relationships and how we show up for the people in our lives. This concludes our journey into embracing change and nurturing connections. In the next part, we'll explore the power of gratitude and how it leads to lasting contentment. Practicing gratitude and finding contentment. Gratitude transforms how we see the world. By focusing on what we have rather than what we lack, we invite more joy and fulfillment into our lives. The power of gratitude to shift perspective. John began writing down 3 things he was grateful for every night. At first felt forced, he admitted, but over time, it became second nature. He started noticing small blessings, like a kind text from a friend or a sunny walk, and they made a huge difference. Create a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things you're grateful for each evening. They can be small, like a nice meal or a good conversation. Gratitude rewires our brain to focus on the positive. Finding joy in simple moments. Contentment isn't found in grand achievements. It's cultivated in small everyday moments. Sarah found joy in her daily rituals, her morning coffee, watering plants, and reading before bed. These moments made me realize that happiness isn't far away. It's right here in the little things, she said. Pause and savor simple experiences, whether it's the first sip of coffee or the warmth of sunlight. Contentment grows when we appreciate the small joys in life. Practicing mindful gratitude in relationships. Gratitude isn't just about being thankful for material things. It's also about recognizing the people who support us. John made it a habit to thank his friends and family, whether with a text or a quick note. It not only made them feel appreciated, but reminded me of the support I have, he reflected. Express gratitude to someone each week through a message, a call, or a thank you. When shared, gratitude strengthens relationships, letting go of comparison and embracing enough. One of the biggest barriers to contentment is comparison. When we compare ourselves to others, we feel inadequate. Gratitude teaches us to focus on what we have and embrace the idea of enough. Sarah struggled with comparing herself to others on social media. Through journaling and mindfulness, she shifted her focus inward. I realized that life isn't a competition. I have enough, and I am enough, she said. Practice digital detoxes. Take breaks from social media to reflect on what matters most. True contentment comes when we stop comparing and appreciate our own journey. Gratitude as a daily practice for lasting happiness. Gratitude isn't just an emotion, it's a practice we cultivate over time. John noticed that on days he practiced gratitude, small frustrations didn't bother him as much. It became a habit that shifted my outlook, he said. Start or end each day with a moment of gratitude. Close your eyes, take a few breaths, and reflect on one thing you are grateful for. Buddha taught that contentment is the greatest wealth. When we appreciate what we have, we experience deeper happiness. Conclusion of practicing gratitude. Practicing gratitude helps us find joy and contentment in the present. By shifting focus from comparison to appreciation, we realize happiness isn't something we chase. It's already within us. Through small daily practices of gratitude, we develop peace and fulfillment that enrich every part of life. Whether savoring simple moments or expressing gratitude in relationships, we learn that we already have enough, and we are enough. The power of compassion and impermanence. Impermanence, or anicca, teaches us that nothing in life is permanent, whether emotions, relationships, or circumstances. While this truth can feel unsettling, it offers freedom. Embracing impermanence, the flow of life. John struggled after losing his job unexpectedly. At first, he felt like he lost his identity. Through meditation, he realized that nothing stays the same forever. Not his job, emotions, or fears. This shift helped him welcome new possibilities. When life feels overwhelming, breathe deeply and reflect. This moment too shall pass. Understanding impermanence helps us appreciate the present, without trying to hold on too tightly. Practicing self-compassion in challenging times. Self-compassion means treating ourselves with the same kindness we'd offer a friend. Often we are our harshest critics, but self-compassion builds inner resilience. Sarah blamed herself for not meeting personal goals. But after practicing self-compassion, she realized that being kind to herself motivated her more. Write a supportive letter to yourself when you feel overwhelmed. Acknowledge your emotions and encourage yourself to keep moving forward. Self-compassion isn't about making excuses. It's about acknowledging your humanity and moving forward with care. Extending compassion to others. Strengthening connections. Compassion isn't limited to ourselves. It's also about kindness toward others. John noticed his coworker Lisa seemed stressed. Instead of brushing it off, he invited her to lunch and listened. I didn't need to solve her problems. Just being present made us both feel lighter, he said. Try small acts of kindness. Check in on a friend or offer a kind word to a stranger. When we show compassion, we dissolve the illusion of separation. Compassion connects us through shared experiences. Letting go of attachments. Finding freedom. Attachments cause suffering when we cling to them, hoping they won't change. Sarah obsessed over maintaining a perfect routine. When unexpected events disrupted her plans, she felt anxious. After attending a mindfulness workshop, she learned to embrace spontaneity. I realized life is more enjoyable when we stop holding on too tightly, she said. Identify one attachment, whether it's to a specific outcome or relationship, and ask, what would happen if I let go? Freedom comes from non-attachment, not detaching from life, but enjoying things without trying to control them. Finding peace in uncertainty, trusting the process. Uncertainty is a part of life. Attempts to control everything often lead to frustration. Learning to trust the process brings peace. John used to plan his life down to the smallest detail. When challenges arose, anxiety grew. But by practicing trust in the unknown, he felt more at ease. When I let go of control, I had room to breathe, he said. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. Peace comes not from certainty, but from trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. Conclusion of compassion and impermanence. Compassion and impermanence teach us to live with grace and ease. Self-compassion builds inner strength. Kindness toward others deepens relationships. Letting go of attachments frees us from unnecessary suffering. Impermanence helps us savor life's fleeting moments. True peace lies in flowing with change, not resisting it. This concludes our section on gratitude, compassion, and impermanence. In the final part, we'll explore how living with freedom and confidence unlocks a meaningful life. Living a life of freedom and confidence. Freedom begins with knowing who you are, what you value, what brings you joy, and what you need to feel fulfilled. Living independently offers the perfect opportunity to explore your authentic self, discovering who you are without external influence. Sarah used to follow trends and seek validation from others. But after living on her own, she realized she didn't need approval to feel good about herself. I started asking, what do I enjoy? What matters to me? The answers surprised me, she said. Take time to journal about your values and passions. What excites you? What beliefs guide your decisions? The journey to freedom begins with self-discovery. Knowing yourself helps you live intentionally and confidently. Embracing personal freedom through daily choices. Living independently means designing your life, how you spend your time, who you spend it with, and what you pursue. John realized that living alone gave him the freedom to create routines that suited his lifestyle. He designed his days around his energy, working in the morning, exercising in the afternoon, and unwinding in the evening. It felt empowering to shape my day however I wanted, he reflected. Create a daily routine that reflects your priorities and well-being. Freedom comes from thoughtful decisions that align with your values. Building self-confidence through action. Confidence grows through small acts of courage, trying new things, making decisions, and learning from mistakes. Sarah doubted her ability to manage finances, but after budgeting successfully for 3 months, she felt empowered. Confidence comes from taking action, not waiting until you feel ready, she said. Set small, achievable goals that challenge you to step out of your comfort zone. Celebrate every success, no matter how small. Confidence is a skill built through persistence and experience. Balancing freedom with responsibility. Freedom isn't just doing what you want, it's also about taking responsibility for your choices. John initially enjoyed the freedom of living alone, but found it hard to manage household tasks. Over time, he balanced freedom with responsibility by creating a simple chore schedule. Freedom feels better when grounded in discipline, he observed. Set boundaries and routines to balance freedom with structure. Discipline enhances freedom, enabling you to pursue passions without neglecting responsibilities. Cultivating inner freedom and self-trust. The ultimate freedom comes from trusting yourself, believing you have the strength to handle life's challenges. Sarah felt overwhelmed when deciding whether to move for a new job. Instead of seeking endless advice, she trusted her instincts and made the move. The moment I trusted myself, I felt free, she said. Practice self-trust by making decisions independently. Even if things don't go as planned, trust that you can adapt and learn. Freedom isn't found outside, it's cultivated within. The more you trust yourself, the freer you become. Conclusion of living a life of freedom and confidence. Living a life of freedom and confidence means knowing yourself, embracing your choices, and trusting your inner wisdom. Independence allows you to design a life aligned with your values. Through small actions, you build confidence and learn to trust yourself. Freedom comes not from escaping challenges, but from meeting them with courage. And from this place of inner freedom, You create a life that feels joyful, meaningful, and uniquely your own. Final reflection on the journey. This journey, from facing fear and loneliness to embracing peace, compassion, and freedom, is a path toward self-discovery and growth. Living alone isn't about isolation. It's about building a relationship with yourself and the world around you. We learn to navigate uncertainty with grace, build meaningful connections, and find joy in simple moments. The life we want to live is already within us, waiting to be uncovered, nurtured, and celebrated. Conclusion. Living alone offers incredible opportunities for growth. From the stillness of silence to confronting loneliness, every step teaches us to love ourselves more fully and discover the strength within. If Mark could overcome his fears and find happiness in solitude, so can you. Life is full of opportunities to learn, grow, and thrive. You're not just living alone, you're living intentionally, meaningfully, and deeply. Take this journey with an open heart. Cherish each moment of quiet reflection, for these are the moments where real growth happens. As you continue to explore your inner world, may you discover that solitude isn't something to fear, but a space to flourish, a space to find peace, and a space to experience true joy. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. Together, let's uncover the power of living alone and turn it into a journey of joy, peace, and personal transformation. The journey never ends, living with intent and purpose. Living intentionally means approaching each day with awareness and clarity. It's about aligning your actions with your values and finding meaning in every moment. Designing a life aligned with your values. When you know your values, decisions become easier and life feels more purposeful. John spent time reflecting on what truly mattered: authenticity, creativity, and connection. He adjusted his daily routines to reflect these priorities. Every choice I make now feels more intentional, he shared. Make a list of your core values and reflect on how they show up in your daily life. Aligning your actions with your values creates a sense of harmony and fulfillment. Building habits that support long-term growth habits shape the quality of our lives. Sarah found that small, consistent habits, like journaling, meditating, and morning walks, transformed her well-being over time. It's the little things done daily that make the biggest difference, she said. Choose one habit to start today. Consistency, not perfection, leads to meaningful change. Finding meaning through acts of service. Contributing to others enriches our lives and creates a sense of purpose. John began volunteering at a community garden, which deepened his connection to his neighborhood. Helping others helped me find meaning in my own journey, he reflected. Look for ways to give back, whether through small acts of kindness or volunteering. Service cultivates purpose and reminds us that we are part of something bigger. Staying grounded during life's ups and downs. Challenges will come, but your inner strength will carry you through. When difficulties arise, return to your practices, whether mindfulness, gratitude, or self-reflection. Mark's meditation practice helped him stay grounded during uncertain times. I've learned that peace isn't the absence of difficulty. It's how I respond to it, he said. Trust in your ability to navigate life's challenges. You are resilient. Continuing your journey with courage. This journey of living alone, cultivating inner peace, and building meaningful connections is ongoing. Every day offers new opportunities for growth and self-discovery. You will have moments of doubt and days of joy, but both are part of the process. Embrace each experience as it comes, and meet yourself with compassion along the way. Final thoughts. Living intentionally is about more than just making decisions. It's about creating a life that feels aligned with your true self. From embracing silence to finding joy in simple moments, every step of this journey teaches us that happiness lies within. We learn that solitude is not a space of emptiness, but a space where peace, purpose, and transformation unfold. So, continue this journey with an open heart. Live each day intentionally, with courage and gratitude. and know that no matter where life takes you, you have everything you need within you. Your journey doesn't end here. It is only the beginning. Together, let's keep exploring the beauty of living intentionally. A life filled with meaning, joy, and deep connection awaits. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring stories. May you find peace, purpose, and joy in every step of your path, moving forward with gratitude and courage. As this journey unfolds, every moment becomes an opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive. Living intentionally isn't just about achieving milestones. It's about embracing life's ebb and flow with grace. Each experience, whether joyful or challenging, brings valuable lessons. Embracing life as a continuous journey. Life is not a destination, but a journey that constantly evolves. Mark realized that even after finding peace in solitude, new challenges would arise. But now, he faces them with openness, knowing that every experience enriches his inner world. There is no final destination. There is only the path, he reflected. Approach life with curiosity, treating each day as a new chapter to explore. Finding strength in uncertainty. The future is always uncertain, but peace comes from trusting yourself to navigate whatever arises. Sarah discovered that her fears about the future became smaller when she focused on the present moment. Uncertainty used to scare me. Now it feels like a blank canvas, full of possibilities, she said. When doubt arises, remind yourself that you have the strength to handle whatever comes. Trust that every step forward will reveal the path ahead. The power of presence and self-acceptance. Being present allows us to experience life fully, without judgment or resistance. John found that practicing presence deepened his appreciation for small joys. By learning to accept myself and each moment as it is, I found peace I never thought possible, he shared. Accept where you are right now. You are exactly where you need to be. Cultivating joy in the little things. Happiness isn't found in grand achievements. It lives in the little things. Mark discovered that moments of joy, like a walk in nature, a favorite song, or a good conversation, are always within reach. When I stopped chasing happiness, I realized it had been with me all along, he said. Pause throughout your day and savor the simple moments. Joy is not something you find, it's something you cultivate. Sharing your journey with others. Although this journey begins within, it grows richer when shared. Living intentionally encourages us to connect with others from a place of authenticity. Sarah found that her relationships deepened when she shared her true self without fear. Being honest about my struggles and joys created more meaningful connections, she said. Invite others to join your journey and be open to theirs. Together, we learn, grow, and support one another. Conclusion. A life of meaning awaits. The journey to live alone, cultivate inner peace, and embrace personal growth teaches us that fulfillment is not found outside. It is created within. You now know how to face fear, appreciate silence, and connect meaningfully with others. You've learned that solitude isn't a void. It's a space where peace and joy flourish. As you move forward, continue living intentionally. Cherish each moment. Embrace change, and trust yourself along the way. This journey will continue to evolve, offering new lessons and opportunities, but you are ready for whatever comes next. You've discovered that the strength, peace, and joy you seek have always been within you. Thank you for being a part of this journey. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more inspiring content. Together, let's continue exploring the beauty of living intentionally. May your path be filled with joy, purpose, and deep connection. This is just the beginning. Your journey awaits.